GameStop stock jumps Monday. The Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal's full markets coverage. Null. 6 pro chefs make their favorite 15-minute meal. Test kitchen talks. Bon appétit. Bon appétit. Join Chris Morocco, Zainab Issa, Shilpa Uskokovic, Hannah Asbrink, Devon Francis, and Brad Leone in the Bon Appétit test kitchen as they each make their favor. Null. South Korean authorities say they had no guidelines for Halloween crowds. As families grieve 155 victims, CNN. South Korean authorities said Monday they had no guidelines to handle the huge crowds that gathered for Halloween festivities in Seoul. As families in the country and around the world mourn the 155 victims of Saturday night's crowd crush. South Korean authorities said Monday they had no guidelines to handle the huge crowds that gathered for Halloween festivities in Seoul. As families in the country and around the world mourn the 155 v. plus 7253 chars. No more excuses. Just 2 minutes of intense exercise every day could extend lifespan, study finds. Scientists report that 2-minute bursts of vigorous physical activity totaling omega 15 minutes per week are associated with a lower risk of death. Sydney, Australia. Plenty of people cite lack of time to justify the non-existent exercise routine. But a new study out of Australia could effectively end that excuse. Scientists at the university, plus 4656 chars. NASA captured an image of a giant space pumpkin. Here's the science behind the smiling sun. CBS News. The sun appeared to be smiling down on Earth ahead of Halloween weekend. But what does it mean? This year's Halloween spirit was out of this world. Ahead of the costume and candy-filled celebration, NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured an image of the sun smiling, an image that acclaim. Plus 3028 chars. Eagles W.R.A.J. Brown reacts to drug test 1 day after Monster 3 TD game. Roger RRR. This is not random. Yahoo Sports. Less than 1 day after his stunning game against the Steelers, Brown was ordered to take a drug test. The NFL insists its drug tests are random. But Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown isn't so sure. He was tested Monday morning. And considering he had a monster day against the Pittsburgh Street. Plus 2518 chars. Testing suggests faulty cable may be to blame for melting RTX 4090 connectors. Updated. Ars Technica. More reports of overheating power connectors have surfaced every day this week. Enlarged. The power adapter for the RTX 4090 feeds 4 8-pin power connectors into a single 1.2 VHPWR connector. 157 with 101 posters participating. Update. October 31, 2022. Additional testing from the GAR. Plus 3686 chars. Under hub and spoke biotech. Serial founders launch new startup hoping to make gene therapies for the eye. Endpoints News. In late July, Sangamo's former R&D chief Adrian Wolfson, who left the biotech when it split its R&D, launched his own gene therapy outfit. Replay's primary platform was an HSV vector which, as a hub and spoke biotech, It said it was building 4 different C. In late July, Sangamo's former R&D chief Adrian Wolfson, who left the biotech when it split its R&D, launched his own gene therapy outfit. Replay's primary platform was an HSV vector which plus 513 CHARs. Kanye West compares cancelled deals to George Floyd's murder. New York Post. The 45-year-old rapper, who now goes by Ye, told Los Angeles paparazzi Friday that his recent loss of a sneaker contract was comparable to the death of George Floyd. Kanye West compared the blowback from his constant stream of hate speech to the murders of George Floyd and Emmett Till, while doubling down on anti-Semitic tropes. The 45-year-old rapper, who now plus 3519 CHARs. Twitter drafts broad job layoffs in Elon Musk's first week as owner. The Wall Street Journal. Some employees say they are concerned layoffs could come ahead of vesting date for employee stock grants. Null. By the next RSV season, the U.S. may have its first vaccine. CNN. It's shaping up to be a severe season for respiratory syncytial virus infections, one of the worst some doctors say they can remember. But even as babies struggling to breathe fill hospital beds across the United States, there may be a light ahead. After the It's shaping up to be a severe season for respiratory syncytial virus infections, one of the worst some doctors say they can remember. But even as babies struggling to breathe fill hospital beds across plus 13165 CHARs. Astronomers spy the ghost of a star and cosmic cobwebs. CNN. Colorful, ghostly remnants drift in space where a massive star exploded 11,000 years ago. It's the site of the Vela supernova remnant, full of gaseous filaments that look like wispy cobwebs. Sign up for CNN's Wonder Theory Science newsletter. Explore the universe with news on fascinating discoveries, scientific advancements and more. Colorful, ghostly remnants drift in space where a mass plus 1834 CHARs. How Tom and Giselle filed and finalized divorce in one day. Today. After 13 years of marriage and months of speculation, Tom Brady and Giselle Bündchen's divorce was filed and finalized on Friday. NBC's Sam Brock reports for Null. Missed sequel Riven. GOAT or worst puzzle game of all time. Gets remake. Kotaku. Original developer Cyan announces a complete remake of 1997's pre-rendered adventure. Due to an ancient witch's curse. Missed. Officially the worst game ever made. Will never go away. Further proof of this affliction is that original creator Cyan Worlds has just announced it's remaking My plus 4067 CHARs. Elon Musk disbands Twitter's board, cementing control over company. CNN. Twitter's board of directors was dissolved on Thursday following Elon Musk's takeover of the company. According to a securities filing on Monday, Twitter's board of directors was dissolved on Thursday following Elon Musk's takeover of the company. According to a securities filing on Monday, the company filing states that all previous members of plus 1271 CHARs. Cormac Roth, musician and son of Tim Roth, dies at 25. Variety. Popular on Variety. Cormac Roth, a musician and son of actor Tim Roth, died on October 16 after a battle with cancer. The family announced Monday. He was 25. He was a wild and electric ball of energy, and his spirit was filled with light and goodness. His family. Cormac Roth, a musician and son of actor Tim Roth, died on October 16 after a battle with cancer. The family announced Monday. He was 25. He was a wild and electric ball of energy, and his spirit was F. plus 1743 Chars. Trump. Attack on Paul Pelosi. A terrible thing. The Hill null. Contagious RSV up in Michigan. Symptoms. Treatment. Vaccine answers. Detroit Free Press. Respiratory syncytial virus, better known as RSV, is very contagious and putting Michigan babies and young children at risk for severe illness. The steady beep of a medical monitor droned in the background. Melissa Parker's 3-week-old, chubby-cheeked youngest son, Owen, lay in a crib as high-flow oxygen pushed through a tube and into his nost. Plus 13723 Chars. Scientists just discovered an entirely new way of measuring time. Science alert. Marking the passage of time in a world of ticking clocks and swinging pendulums is a simple case of counting the seconds between then and now. Marking the passage of time in a world of ticking clocks and swinging pendulums is a simple case of counting the seconds between then and now, down at the quantum scale of buzzing electrons. How? Plus 3785 Chars. XFL 2023. Team logos. Names. Coaches. Stadiums. More. ESPN. The first season of the new XFL starts in February. But the names and the logos of the new teams were unveiled Monday. The XFL is back in 2023. Its third iteration after trying to launch a spring football league 2 other times. The first came in 2001. And there was also a COVID-19 shortened attempt in 2020. Before T. plus 4501 Chars. Amsterdam hotel featured in Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 is unhappy with unwanted involvement. IGN. The real-world Amsterdam hotel featured in Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 as the Breenberg Hotel is not happy with its unwanted involvement in the first-person shooter from Activision Blizzard. The real-world Amsterdam Hotel featured in Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2 is not happy with its unwanted involvement in the first-person shooter from Activision Blizzard. As reported by De Volska. Plus 1307 Chars. Massachusetts wind power project, no longer viable, without contract adjustments. Says developer, CNBC. The Commonwealth Wind Project would supply 1,200 megawatts of offshore wind power starting in 2028. But its developer asked to review contract terms. The developer for a major offshore wind power project in Massachusetts has asked state regulators to pause review of the contract for 1 month, saying that global price hikes, inflation and supply C. plus 2481 Chars. Celebrity Halloween costumes 2022. Lizzo as Marge Simpson. Kendall Jenner's racy, Toy Story, look and more. Yahoo Entertainment. Insult comic Jeff Ross went as the Queen. Kylie Jenner imitated Elvira and Emily Ratajkowski wore chaps as a sexy cowgirl. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly went as Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee for Halloween. Photo. Michael Kovac, Getty Images for Casamigos. When Halloween falls on a Monday, the festivities start early. Plus 4302 Chars. Cormac Roth, musician and son of Tim Roth, dies at 25. Variety. Popular on Variety. Cormac Roth, a musician and son of actor Tim Roth, died on October 16 after a battle with cancer. The family announced Monday. He was 25. He was a wild and electric ball of energy, and his spirit was filled with light and goodness. His family. Cormac Roth, a musician and son of actor Tim Roth, died on October 16 after a battle with cancer. The family announced Monday. He was 25. He was a wild and electric ball of energy, and his spirit was F. Plus 1743 Chars. Weather looks solid for SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch from Kennedy Space Center, Florida today. Weather conditions should be excellent for the highly anticipated launch of SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket from Kennedy Space Center this week. Space is important to us, and that's why we're working to bring you top coverage of the industry and Florida launches. Journalism like this takes time and resources. Please support it with a subscript. Plus 2728 Chars. How will the addition of Christian McCaffrey shape the 49ers? NFL. Null. Your browser isn't supported anymore. Update it to get the best YouTube experience and our latest features. Learn more. Remind me later. Why one web pioneer thinks it's time to reinvent the browser. The Verge. Darren Fisher has worked on Netscape Navigator, Firefox, Chrome, and others. Now he's joining the browser company to build Arc, a much-hyped new web browser. And he says it's time for a change. Darren Fisher has been working on browsers since practically the beginning. And H is ready to finally build the one H has been waiting for. By David Pierce. October 31, 2022. 1 p.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Darren Fisher has B. Plus 9620 Chars.